We'll continue with the uh, book of Privy Counselling, chapter 2, 3, 4. And so descend to the lowest level of your understanding, which some, on the basis of actual experience, hold to be the highest, and think in the most ignorant way, but to some it is the wisest way. Not what you yourself are, but what you yourself are. For it takes great skill and learning and cleverness on your part, and much intricate searching in your natural intelligence to think what you are in all your attributes, and with the help of grace you have been doing this now for many days, so that now you know in part and to extent that I believe benefits you for the first time being what you are, a man by nature and a filthy stinking wretch by sin. You know well how this is so, and at times perhaps you feel you know too well all the defilements that follow a sinner and belong to him. Shame on you. Let them go, I beg you. Stir them up in no further for fear of stench, but to think that you exist is something you can achieve in your own ignorance and simplicity, without any great cleverness of learning or natural gifts. I beg you, therefore, to do no more now in this manner than think bluntly that you are as you are, however filthy a wretch you may be, so long as you have already been properly absolved, as I suppose you have, of all your sins in general and particular, in accordance with the true precepts of Holy Church. Do you think that I should go and be absolved of my sins,
Yeah, I guess.
of the Holy Church?
Can you stop reading those?
What?
Come on, read Toro.
Read Thoreau. You don't want me to read him? Can I finish?
No,
It gets better.
how do you know?
The best next part gets to get the churchy stuff. It gets better. For otherwise, so far as I am concerned, neither you nor anyone else may be so bold as to undertake this work of contemplation. It's no different, dear, than meditating. But if you feel that you have done the best you can, then you shall apply yourself to this work, and even though you still feel yourself to be so vile and wretched and so burdened with yourself that you yourself do not know what best to do with yourself, you must do what I am about to tell you. Take good, gracious God as He is, and apply Him as straightforwardly as a plaster to your sick self as you are, or to put it differently, lift up your sick self as you are, and try in your desires to touch good, gracious God as He is, for to touch Him is eternal health, as is witnessed by the woman in the Gospel who said, Si te dicerel vel fibriam vesmiti malata loro, if I touch only the hem of his garment, I shall be healed. Much more then will you be healed in your sickness through this high heavenly touching of his own being, his own dear self. Step up stoutly and try to remedy. Stick up your sick self as you are to gracious God as He is, without any prying or particular concern for any of the many attributes that belong to your own being or to God's, whether they are pure or wretched, divine or human, or come from grace or from nature. He's just saying don't have all kinds of intentions and requests, nothing in your matters now except that your blind perception of your naked being shall be carried gladly upward in eagerness of love to be linked and united in grace and in spirit to the precious being of God just as He is in Himself. Nothing more than that. And although your unruly prying thoughts can find no food for themselves in this kind of activity, that they will keep on urging you resentfully to give up this work and do something that appeals to your curiosity. For it seems to them that what you are doing is of no value. That is entirely because you know nothing about it. This would make me love it better, the better, because for this it appears that it is of greater value. than they are. Do you think contemplation is of greater value than having mental curiosity? Why should I?
After you read so many books, question you should be expelled from school.
And why should I? I haven't read many, dear.
You did.
I did not. And why should I not love it the better, especially?
One book about those.
But maybe I love
it's
it.
a love. You don't need to read somebody.
But I love the books about contemplation.
You don't listen. Just read.
But I want to contemplate books of contemplation.
Yeah, I just contemplate. You contemplate.
Why should I not love it better, especially when there is no work that I can do, none that can be done of any of my senses, be it by any of my senses, bodily or spiritually, into their curiosity that could bring me so near to God, and so far from the world as this bare little awareness and offering up of my blind being. So why can't I offer up my blind being if the other work is of no value? Do you think the sense world is more valuable than my blind being? So although your thoughts can find no food for themselves on this work of contemplation, therefore would shift you from it, see that you do not give up on their account, but be their master, and do not turn back to feed them, however fierce they may be. You turn back to feed your thoughts when you allow them to range through the variety of ingenuous meditations on the attributes of your being, meditations which, very good and beneficial though they may be, are yet very dispersed in comparison with this blind awareness. He wants you to just bring pure consciousness to your meditation. This blind awareness and offering up of your being and distract you from the perfect oneness that ought to be between God and your soul. And so press forward on the most profound level of your spirit, which is your being, and do not turn back for anything of any kind. However good or holy the same thing may seem that your thoughts would lead you to. He says, don't be distracted by either good or bad thoughts. Right?
Don't. Did you know that?
Yeah, but I don't know it because I have to practice it absolutely perfectly.
You knew it, but you don't know it.
I know it, but I don't practice it absolutely perfectly. If I practice it perfectly.
Don't complain about that, don't I always tell you?
That I don't practice perfectly. But you were judging my practice. Why don't you practice your perfect practice? You're my critique of my practice. You don't talk negatives? All right, we read chapter number 2, which is quite... there was a little resistance towards the practice of absolute pure contemplation. We are reading from the book of Privy Counselling. I'm counseling you. I'm counseling the book.
Yeah, that's comedy.
He's counseling us. Well, it's obviously we need counseling. So I'm privy to this counseling, which I'm now putting up into the cloud. It's written by the ultimate cloud author, the Cloud of Unknowing. So now what we didn't know about unknowing, we now know.